We were the better team, but in the end, it doesn't matter because if we don't score goals, nothing matters because in the end, it's the result that counts, especially in these kind of moments. So we create a lot of chances. We have the game. We control the game. We block some good players from the opponent, and then one set pieces change the game, and that's it. He's really frustrated to end the game like this. We say to the fans the truth. That we lack a lot of things in our team, that we miss chances, that if we don't score goals, we are not going to win, and we have a lot to do and to focus on improving the team and step by step and understanding the until the end of the league is going to be like this, and then we need to do something.
Is Amorim the right fit for you, for United? You smirk at that question.
I am not sure. Look, they have to try. They have to stick with him. It'd be senseless to change managers again.
What makes you uncertain about him?
He's, 25 games in now, almost 30 games in. I would have expected to see more improvement in individual players. I'm struggling to think of who has got better under Amorim. Ahmad probably did before he got injured. Maybe Lenny Yoro's developed a little bit. But someone like Garnacho doesn't look any closer to being where he should be.
Marcus Rashford, sorry.
Marcus Rashford. Well, he's improved since Amorim arrived at Aston Villa. That's
somewhere else.
The Marcus Rashford thing's interesting because that's a situation that you'd hope Amorim was able to deal with and solve, and he hasn't. He wasn't able to work with Rashford, and now they could lose Rashford for what's a cut price fee in terms of how good he is potentially. So that's my worry that all these games in, we're not seeing a lot of progress from individual players. We're seeing him still doggedly sticking to the system, and I understand he has to try and do what brought him to United in terms of past success, but there's been no flexibility whatsoever. So you ask yourself, who's this working for? Which players is this benefiting? I just wonder if he's a good manager, but isn't the right man for this particular job because there's so much to do, and he doesn't seem to have flexibility or that, as I said, that ability to get more out of players that are there, because he's going to have to. He's going to have to make successes of some of these players. Going back to what we said about the finances, he can't buy a ready-made team. He can't buy this great 3-4-3 team off the peg. So he's going to have to work with what he's got, and that's my question. Is he doing enough to improve these players?
Why are United so hard to get right? Because arguably, since Sir Alex Ferguson left, a lot of managers have had a good go, and it hasn't worked for them. So why?
Well, it's been a bit of blimey. I'm going to stay off social media for a while after this, but it's been a bit of a basket case club, hasn't it, for quite some time now, at all levels, from the very, very top all the way down to the very, very bottom. And that includes, maybe picking the wrong manager at the wrong time with the wrong players. And it is a massive rebuilding job, and I disagree with you. I think that Amorim is the man to do that. I think he believes in his ability. I think he's got a lot of ability. And let's not forget that Sporting Lisbon, or Club de Lisbon, as they're called now, is a massive club in Portugal. It's the equivalent of Manchester United in Portugal, and he had the ability to go into a club that was struggling, even more than Man United was, and turn it around quite quickly. So it's about levels. I know Manchester United is a world-famous club, but if he's done it under the spotlight of living and operating in Lisbon, I think he can do it under the spotlight of living and operating in Manchester and worldwide.
Well, they haven't been in turmoil. Moisey didn't work out. Mourinho came along and delivered second
they've never
place
settled with anyone. They have been in turmoil. They've never settled with a manager for any length of time. Any length of time.
By choice, but they've had coaches.
So they've been in turmoil.
Most other clubs,
they haven't gone.
You would take what they delivered.
They've gone and they haven't settled with a manager and said, "You go and take that on," right? And I'd always thought with this kid or this guy, having looked at what he did at Sporting and the way he plays, which is very different to how United have played since Fergie took over. Very different to how they play. And having said to him, "You're the man. We've identified you. We want you to take us forward." I honestly thought they would give him the opportunity to make it work. And it's not going to work in half a season, one season.
But the question is, would you trust him now?
I know.
For what you've seen with 250 to 400 million to rebuild Manchester United.
Have they got that?
Bearing in mind he went to a 4-4-2 to get the result Thursday.
I know.
That's another thing that bewilders me.
And just stuck Harry up top.
Right. Well, the only thing I would say about that is if you don't, then who? And that is the question. That is the question. Now, I know what you're saying, because they trusted Ten Hag and it went very wrong very quickly, right? And I know why, so you're obviously thinking it might do the same. I don't know. They might be thinking in their minds, no, we're going to stay with him. We're going to let him have a summer to sift out what he can get out and what he can get in.
Do you want me to answer the question when you posed who?
Yes.
Gareth Southgate.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that he's taken England to two European Championship finals, on the grounds that he understands the modern player and what's required in order to make the modern player feel good about himself, his football team and the club that he plays for, that he is a master of manipulation and motivation.
Sorry.
And I would say...
Sorry. It's just the same Gareth Southgate I've heard you chat to me about all these years. Come on.
You can't,
magnificent
you
manipulator
cannot
and motivator.
The fact that
he's had England's so-called wonderful players.
And took them to two finals and was a whisker away from winning something.
1-0.
Why didn't he win?
Why?
Well, because
he made a mess of it at
roll
Wembley.
of the ball.
No,
how they not won against Italy at Wembley?
I mean, can he be responsible for Harry Kane sticking a pen over the bar? Of course he can't.
No, he can be responsible for what went on for 90 minutes before that.
He is available and he is highly regarded as a coach.
Run his club career past me as a coach.
Well, but his club career was not littered with success. What I'm saying is he has grown
relegation it was littered
as a coach, working with the finest talent available, into somebody that is a big club character.
No.
So why not?
I mean, Gareth Southgate has never managed a club and gone out and gone and bought players of that ilk that he needs to buy. He was given England's best, England's creme de la creme of footballers,
and was a whisker away from success.
Yeah, well, yes.
He might as well be a mile away.
Gareth Southgate won't be spending money necessarily. It would be the collective that's around him at Manchester.
So you believe, as a tactician, he's so much better
I
than
believe he's
Amorim.
Somebody that understands the modern player as well as and better than most. You speak to people that have worked with him and they will give him a glowing reference.
Well, I know lots of people that work with lots of coaches who give glowing references, but it doesn't mean they're any good.